Epistemology is the branch of philosophy which analyzes knowledge, that is Jnana. What is Jnana? Jnana is that study which tells about the self, the creation, the creator, the relationship between these three, how we get liberation, how we are in bondage. It tells about all this. This is Jnana. And that branch of philosophy which analyzes this Jnana is called epistemology. So is knowledge received instantly or is it a gradual process? It is a gradual process. Many steps are involved in it. We will see some of them. The main steps involved in it are the pramadha, that is the knower. The next is the pramanam, the instrument of knowledge. The third is the prameyam, the object of knowledge. The fourth is prama, that is the knowledge itself. The fifth is bhrama, that is the wrong knowledge. Viparita jnana, we tell it also as viparita jnana. And the last is the prayojana. What benefit do we get by this knowledge? Now let us see all of them very briefly. Now let us see about pramadha. Pramadha is the knower. First, the knower must have interest. He must have the attitude to know about that subject. Here we take the subject as Vedanta. So he must have interest in Vedanta, or otherwise he will feel that subject as very dry. Somebody must not push him into this study, or he must not take this study of Vedanta reluctantly. So it will not last for long. So he must have the right attitude and interest to study the subject. It may be any subject, but especially when he studies the Vedanta, he must have the right interest and attitude. The next is he must know about what he do not know. He must be aware of his ignorance. And it is not very easy because our ego will not allow us to reveal our ignorance. He must be aware of his ignorance. Only then he will be able to attain that knowledge which he did not know. The next step is he must select the right institute or the right guru. He must go to the right guru. Only then his thirst for knowledge will be satisfied. So it is very important someone else can help him to select the right institute or the guru. The last is he must prepare himself for the knowledge. If he is going to study Vedanta, then he must prepare himself for Chitta Shuddhi, or by doing meditation, by reading scriptures or all that. He must prepare himself to receive the knowledge. He must be a receptive. Only then the knowledge will go in him and it will help him. It will bring transformation in him. So this is all about pramadha. The next is pramanam, that is the instrument of knowledge. How do we get this knowledge? There are many ways through which we get knowledge. The first is the pratyaksha pramana. The knowledge we receive through our 5 sense organs. We see it, we hear about it, we hear lectures. Through 5 sense organs we receive that knowledge. That is the pratyaksha pramana. The next is anumana, reasoning. We come to conclusion. If we see smoke at a distance, then we conclude that there is fire. So it is reasoning, logic, reasoning, all this. Through this we all receive knowledge. We attain knowledge through this reasoning and comparison. The next is the Attapati Pramana. This is also similar to Anumana. It is coming to conclusion, that is presuming something. Suppose we see water on the road. If the road is watery, then we conclude or we presume that it has rained. So it is more like Anumana Pramana. It is Attapati Pramana. The next is Upamana. We attain knowledge by comparison. Suppose we know about one object very clearly. By comparison, we try to know about that other object also by comparison. So this is Upamana. This is one way of attaining knowledge. The next is the Shabda Pramana. It is the knowledge we receive by hearing lectures, by going to a guru, and if he give oral rendition, by that way we receive knowledge. Almost all the scriptural knowledge are based on this, that is the Shabda Pramana. The last is the Anupalapti Pramana. That is the knowledge about the absence of an object. It is very useful in Vedanta. We know about the absence of something. So this is the Anupalapti Pramana. So these are the 6 different types of different ways through which we receive knowledge. This is Pramana, instrument of knowledge. The next is the Prameyam, that is the object of knowledge. There are 3 different types of different objects of knowledge, and almost all the objects in the world comes under any of these categories. The first is the Jagat Prameyam, that is the Jagat Jnana. Almost all the science, literature, arts, engineering, medicine, any science subject, or everything comes under this. That is the Jagat Jnana, knowledge about the world, objects in the world. The next is the Dharma Jnana, to know what is right, to know what will happen if we do something, something non-righteous act. The Dharma. Almost the Karma Kanda comes under this, that is the Dharma Jnana, to know about the justice and the consequences if we do not follow justice. Everything comes under it. That is the Dharma Jnana. The last is the Brahma Jnana. As we know, it is the knowledge of the self, about Brahman. So anything in this universe comes under any one of these 3 categories. This is Prameya. The next is the Prama, that is the knowledge. When the knower, that is the Pramatha, when he uses the right instrument of knowledge, when he uses the right Pramana, and when he touches the object of knowledge, that is the Prameyam, then a thought arises in his mind, that is Prama, that is the knowledge. When the knower, using the right instrument of knowledge, when he touches that subject or object, that thought which arises in his mind is Prama, that is Jnana. There are 3 types of Jnana: the Sattvika Jnana, Rajasika Jnana, and Tamasika Jnana. Sattvika Jnana helps us to see the unity in diversity. Rajasika Jnana makes us to see this whole world as bits and parts. And Tamasika Jnana makes us to see the bit as whole. So it is very important to receive Sattvika knowledge. Only then it will help us to elevate. So we must be able to receive the Sattvika Jnana, then only it will bring transformation in us. If we get a wrong knowledge like Rajasika Jnana or Tamasika Jnana, then it will be very difficult for us to uplift ourselves. So this is about Prama. And the next thing is very important, Brahma. That is the wrong knowledge. Viparita Jnana. It is better to remain without knowledge than receiving or attaining the wrong knowledge. We must receive knowledge through the right source, or otherwise it will be wrong knowledge. Once the wrong knowledge goes into our mind, it gets settled in our mind, and it is very difficult for us to find out whether it is right or wrong knowledge. Even if we find it, it is very difficult for us to come out of that knowledge. So we must be very careful when the information goes into our mind. It must be the right knowledge. Moreover, if the wrong knowledge settles in our mind, it gives unnecessary assumptions in us, and we superimpose our views or our ideas on whatever we receive as knowledge. If we have wrong knowledge or if we have our own ideas, then we superimpose our ideas on everything. Then that will give only a distorted image. So we must be very careful in it. For example, Seeing a rope, when we presume it is a snake, then it is wrong knowledge. It gives a lot of misunderstanding. So we must be very careful to receive the right knowledge. The last is the prayojanam. What is the use of knowledge? Knowledge elevates us. It helps us to see the reality. And there are two types of uses also here. That is how the jnana sadhana and the karma sadhana. Karma sadhana is when we receive the knowledge, then we have to practice it. Only then it will be helpful. For example, when we receive the knowledge about yoga practices, different yogic postures, then we have to practice it. Only then we will get the benefit of it. Like this only, almost all the science subjects, whether if you study chemistry or physics, whatever it is, we have to practice it. Only then that knowledge will be useful for us. But Vedanta is different. When we have the purity of mind, the right knowledge, even a single Mahavakya will bring knowledge in us, will transform us, will elevate us. That is the Jnana sadhana. So karma sadhana is different from the Jnana sadhana. Karma sadhana we have to do practice, and Jnana sadhana just a single word, just a single Mahavakya will bring knowledge in us, will elevate us to that level. So this is epistemology. That science which deals or analyzes knowledge. And these are the different steps involved in that analysis of knowledge. Thank you for watching.